Qapla', and welcome aboard the IKS Hague. My name is Ramir, and your reputation for getting the job done precedes you. Alliance Command gave me the authority to pick who would assist us on this mission, and your name was at the top of the list. If you do not know about my team or our missions, then I have been successful. There are many battles fought in shadow. Now, if you don't have any further questions, follow me to the briefing. House Peg is the code name for a discreet group that serves the Empire. My team are all warriors, but you will not find us screaming battle hymns or leading the charge against an army. Guile and secrecy are our... There is honor to be found, even in dishonesty. If an enemy force can be felled by words or the simple removal of one troublesome individual, the entire Klingon Empire is strengthened by the acts of a few brave men and women. My warriors do not use poison, and we look our targets in the eye before they die. But there is no need to The past few years have brought about many changes in our ways, and a warrior who only uses one weapon would be a poor warrior indeed. As the mighty Kahless once said, a well-aimed blade can sometimes achieve more than a fully armed armada. Now let us begin the briefing. Data recovered from the station in the Calbridan system has pinpointed the location of a second base in the Danasia system, containing several of the Iconian's Omega generators. I understand you had a hand in recovering this information. Of course. Nevertheless, we have the coordinates of the Iconian base. Our plan is to sneak in and sabotage the Omega generators. Taking them out will cripple the Iconians' ability to refine the Omega molecules that fuel their gateway net. Infiltration is our specialty, and we have technology not available to other ships of the fleet. Our cloaking device can extend to protect your ship as well. That should be sufficient to protect us. Then we fight. I expect we will have to fight our way out anyway, after we detonate the Omega generators. I hope your crew is up to the challenge. Our scientists put the risk of a catastrophic reaction at less than 7%. That is an acceptable risk. This is our mission. You, of course, have the authority to change our mission parameters. Volaire is right over there. She will also be a part of the away team to help extract any Iconian intelligence we find in the facility. Be careful. Her mate Travana is very protective.
What do you want? Why?
Don't worry, Travana. It's fine. Yes, but the chances are slight. If the charges are properly placed and calibrated, it should not be a... Well, the risk comes from non-stabilized Omega particles. They are very unstable. If a chain reaction starts, we will not be able to stop it. If that happens, we'll lose our ship, yours, and anything within a few thousand kilograms at the least. But if that happens, Right. If we were to stabilize the particles into one or more Omega molecules, the chance of a detonation would be greatly reduced. I will need to run some numbers. We will have to give ourselves more time in the facility, and there is a greater risk of discovery, but it might be the better...
I disagree. Taking the time to stabilize the molecules puts the team in danger. You insult my honor. It is my... So be it, Tuck.
We are beyond the Herald sensor range, but we should not approach any closer without the protection of a cloaking device. Once we get close to the planet, we will not be able to risk a wide scan, so we will need to perform a series of pinpoint triangulation scans in order to locate the facility housing the Omega generators. At least we can remain cloaked while we do. In order to expedite the triangulation process, my ship will move away from yours and perform our own scan once we have reached a distance of 4 kilocams. Position confirmed. Beginning scans. Sensor interference is preventing us from getting a good reading. Move to 16 kilometers. "16 kilometers confirmed. Beginning sensor sweep."
Belair here. I have coordinates for the facility, but I cannot do a deep...
This facility was very well concealed and shielded. Even now, our scans are so limited, we cannot get it true, but our tricorders will be of assistance while navigating. Now that we are on site, there is something you need to know. Only because I had orders which would supersede yours. I am not the leader of House Peg. Now that we have secured the landing area, it is safe for him to join us. Ramir to Heg, we are ready for him.
Qapla', you and your team have done well so far. No, I am more than a figurehead. A man cannot lead an empire of warriors without being a warrior himself. I carry the Sword of Kahless, a weapon of fables, forged by Kahless the Unforgettable in the fires of the Kristok volcano, and cooled in the icy waters of the Lake of Lusor. This blade slew Molor, it conquered the Fakiri, and created a mighty empire. Now I will wield it against the infernal servants of the demons of air and darkness. There is always a need for the Sword of Kahless. It is a symbol of eternal victory, No one who uses it can be defeated.
We're right behind you. Sensors are picking up a different Omega generator. My team will handle this one. charges are set. We will meet with you in the hallway ahead.
We got some information from the Iconian network. Ket, one of the Iconians! She... Yes, sir. We need to find the last generator.
Use that panel to access a visualization node and locate the last Omega generator.
Zoom in on that! It's Ket!
An Iconian! My blood sings for this battle. It will be...
Kahless, my Emperor. You are the strongest of Klingons. You wield the sword of Kahless. But there is no one who can face an Iconian in...
The war does not go well for us. You all know what we face. Our people need a symbol to inspire them. That is what I was created to be. This battle will be one of legend. Every soldier of the Empire will have this tale on their lips. This is not my day to die. It is my day to kill an Iconian. We part ways here. Complete your mission. I will descend to the lower level and challenge the Iconian. We create a legend this day.
If anyone can kill an Iconian, it is Kahless.
Miko kara enokila edocham karedokila staparecho maraeko rika 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 Pakare Roha Rika 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 Cat! I have come for you! Face me, creature! I challenge you to honorable combat! Come forth! I am Kahless the Unforgettable. Destroyer of Molor, defender of Kamchi, and Emperor of the Klingons! In my hands is the sword of Kahless, first of its kind. Will you not face me, Tiket? What could a being such as yourself have to fear from one man? Fare you
We are in.
Tiket's too strong. Nothing Kahless can do is hurting it. We have to weaken the Iconian and I think I know how. Omega molecules gather energy like sponges in water. That's why a small amount of Omega can generate such a vast amount of power. Quick, find a console and activate the reactor. If we hit the Iconian with Omega, we might be able to injure it.
Ha! Glorious battle! The honorable warrior will always prevail, demon. You are no god, Tiket, and your tyranny ends now! Now, to finish this.
Near to Hague. Emergency transport now. We've lost Kahless, and we were unable to stop the production of Omega molecules. The Iconian War will continue, and much blood. True, the data recovered by your team in Belair will be invaluable to the Alliance. The only thing to do is make sure it reaches them. To do that, we must escape this system.
You're right. We can't risk this intel not making it back to the homeworld. I've pinpointed an excellent transmission spot near here, where we can send out an encrypted microburst of data. If we don't make it out of here, at least the information can be of use to those who still fight. The Emperor's sacrifice cannot be in vain. The optimal transmission location.
Iconian gateways. It's an ambush! More gateways. Something big is coming through.
I will mourn for Kalis, but celebrate his life. He was a clone, but he found honor in this life. Now I trust he will find Sto-vo-kor to his liking. But before he fell, he showed us the Iconians are mortal. His sacrifice will lead our way to victory. Qapla'! Hail Kalis, Emperor and Conqueror! The war continues, and all of our warriors are needed to fight. We have a lead on the Krenim. Voyager went. The war continues.
welcome to Josana. You're cleared.
May I help you? Oh, wait, you must be. I'm sorry, but the business facility... Yes, but Quen left me explicit instructions about this. He's in the middle of a delicate negotiation to triple his profits on the sale of a rare Delta Quadrant artifact, and cannot be disturbed. Maybe... let's see. It was something... Krenim, I think? Oh, Delta Quadrant treasures are all the rage right now. Artifacts from cultures the Vaadwaur wiped out are particularly valuable. Quen's made quite a bit of latinum bringing them back through the gateways. Now that... Look, Quen hired me to answer the comms and chat up the customers, not to be security. Go right in. Just try not to break anything. Quen will find some way to blame the damages on me.
Not so fast! The gentleman with the rather imposing associates over there has just made a very competitive offer for the device. Care to make a counterbid?
You said there weren't any other buyers, Quen. Now what do I see? Starfleet stooges here to cause trouble. Guards, get these riffraff out of here so I can conclude my deal in peace. I'll add what I was going to pay those guards to my offer.
Hold it! I am Nog, son of Grand Nagus Ra. And I am a Ferengi. And when you deal with these people, you deal with me. You have a choice. Either deal with me, or I ask my father to have a word with the Liquidators about your poor business practice.
Well, I'm sure we could come to an understanding.
That's what I thought. Now, kiss the staff. Get out! Not you, Quinn.
Here's my best offer. How about we agree on a price, and you get your Delta Quadrant doodad, and I leave? No? Fine. How about I answer your questions, and maybe then I get to leave? But let's get on with it. Every minute I stand here, I'm losing a strip of latinum. Time is a very valuable commodity. The device is Krenim in origin. Specifically, it's from the Krenim Imperium. Constructed sometime in the mid-22nd century, if I had to take a guess. Strange piece of technology. I haven't seen anything else like it. Highly advanced, and it has hallmarks of Krenim work, but it's, odd. Definitely odd. The Vaadwaur, that's what! At one point, the Krenim Imperium held more than 200 star systems in the Delta Quadrant. They lost some of that territory in a couple wars, but overall they were doing well. Not the biggest business in the quadrant, but not the smallest either. When the Vaadwaur started their war, Ghaul took a special interest in the Krenim. Bombed them back to the Stone Age, and then some. As far as anyone knows, the Krenim are basically extinct these days. I picked it up from a Talaxian who wanted to trade for supplies. He told me he got it from the Kayana system. That was it. There used to be a Krenim colony there, but it's gone now, just like the rest of their empire. The Talaxian wasn't very clear on that. He just said, gone. If I'd asked any more questions, he might have increased his price. As a show of good faith to the son of the Nagus, I'm willing to tell you for free. But don't let this get around. It would ruin my reputation as a businessman. The device emits some unusual energy readings. The shielding may have malfunctioned, or maybe it's not fully operational anymore. I'm not sure. Do I look like a member of the Vulcan Science Academy to you? I don't know. It's yours now. You paid for it. You figure it out. I hope it doesn't blow up your ship. Now, may I go so we can put all this unpleasantness behind?
Don't let the staff of office and these good looks fool you. I'm here as a Starfleet officer, and I don't normally flaunt my family connections, but in this case, it seemed like the best way to solve the problem. So I borrowed my dad's second best staff. Interesting. I know Voyager encountered the Krenim during the journey, and Tuvok was looking for survivors of the Vaadwaur purges. For now, though, perhaps we should concentrate on learning what we can from this device. Quinn left without taking down his security, but fortunately I know how to get around it. This isn't a very sophisticated system. It's hardly worth the latinum he paid for it. If we overload the EPS conduits, we'll create a cascade failure in the system that the control protocols won't be able to handle. That should drop the force field. I think you can overload the EPS conduits in the corner there. Now that the power flow is disrupted, we can open the controls are, yes, over here by the artifact. Excellent. Now we can get a good look at this. The waveforms aren't like anything I think I'm getting before. Something. This is definitely Krenim in origin. And Quinn was right on the age. I'm also seeing some repeating elements in the base code almost like a signature. And that strange energy Quinn was talking about is actually chronotons. A lot of chronotons. And chronotons mean temporal manipulation. This little box just got... I'll take the device back to my ship, the Chimera, and have a look while we're on the way to the Kiana system. From what I understand, Voyager sent an away team to the Kiana system a few weeks ago, but they encountered some resistance and were forced to pull back before they can find what they were looking for. But now that we have this, maybe we'll be able to find what remains of the Krenim, if there's anything left to find. I've explored many places as a Starfleet officer, but this is my first time seeing the Delta Quadrant. According to Quinn, the Krenim artifact came from this system. I hope we haven't come all this way just to chase ghosts. I've had a chance to look at the Krenim device, although I'm not sure how to activate. Voyager's preliminary scans of the system turned up a number of anomalies, but nothing conclusive. According to Krenim records, though, there's supposed to be an M-class planet in this system. We're not reading anything like that on the sensors. Could be. Let's check that wreckage out first. It might give us a better idea of what happened out here. And we should be on the lookout for Vaadwaur. Preliminary scans. Keep an eye out for Vaadwaur. They're still patrolling this area. If I had to place a bet, I'd say that wreckage is where this artifact was found. Heads up! Vaadwaur on an intercept course. The wreckage appears to be Krenim. The weapon signatures are definitely Vaadwaur. According to Voyager, the Krenim were a fairly small society. There had to be a reason the Vaadwaur went out of their way to target them. Let's move. There might be more ships in range. There are more Vaadwaur on an intercept course, but we may be able to avoid them. I suggest we use the mineral content of the asteroids I've marked to conceal our energy signatures. Vaadwaur sensors aren't as good as ours. Most of their technological advantage appears to be directed toward making better weapons. So it should work, as long as we don't attract their attention before we get out of their path. Vanguard must have gotten a signal out. So much for our investigation. If we can find more Krenim technology, or maybe unlock what we have, we might be able to find out what is so important. That could be something the Alliance can use against the Iconians. I recommend that the Chimera and your ship patrol the outer system while we take an away team. This doesn't make sense. There's nothing here that would cause the readings I was seeing from orbit, but there are traces of chronotron particles. I've never known chronotrons to appear naturally without some sort of temporal manipulation going on, but there's nothing here. I'm starting to come up with a theory, but I need some more data. I recommend we take some additional scans. Exactly, but we need to be quick. Those patrols we encountered in orbit will be missed soon. I'm going to order the Chimera to try to avoid contact, but warn us. These tall spires are charged with temporal energy. Curious. It's almost like it's in a state of temporal flux. I need to get some scans. There's something going on. There are more mineral deposits over there. There's a resonant frequency here that's not natural. I'm reading another anomaly ahead. These anomalies have a shape, like a warp field, but not quite the same. The only other place I've seen sensor readings like this was in... There! Behind those rocks! Hurry! They'll be here any moment! This area looks defensible. Get ready. I have an idea. We need to use the device. I've been trying to activate it, and I've almost got it. Keep them busy. If I can get it working, I should be able to conceal us. Here they come! I'm working as quickly as I can. Watch out! There's more of them! I need more time to align these frequencies! Almost there. Just one more connection and that should... If you'll forgive the pun, I managed to buy us some time. It's taken me some time to convince the Krenim to help us, but they finally agreed. Remember how I said the device could remove someone from the time stream? It did. That's where we are now, in the temporal bubbles, and how we perceive time in here is a little different than outside. That's why the Heralds can't see us. We're out of their timelines, out of all timelines, in fact. While we're here, no one's shooting at us. I think that's a good thing. The Krenim are... they're a little touchy. Almost being driven to extinction by the Vaadwaur has made them suspicious. But they're willing to talk to us if we help them stabilize the temporal energy. I suggest we help. I wouldn't want to be in here if the fields collapse.
I've had some time to observe you and Captain Nog, and your actions make it clear that you are no friend of the Vaadwaur or the Heralds. This does not, however, assure me that you will be allies to my people. The Krenim have lost much. Our empire is gone, and our people have been killed or scattered. We are what remains, and I will do whatever I must to protect this system. You have already repaired some of our emitters that were damaged by the attack, but there is more yet to do. Should our temporal equipment fail, this location will be instantly overrun by... More of our emitters must be realigned, and there are other pieces of equipment my people are already working to repair. Assist my team, and then we will talk again.
Your fight overloaded some of the power couplings we used to moderate the temporal flow. If we had a contained space like the technology was originally designed for, this wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, now it's starting to look like something.
Temporal compensators are out of alignment. They help keep us at a stable point in the timeline. If they fail completely, we could end up lost in time. Grab a hyperspanner. We need to get this fixed before the drift code.
You need to disconnect the buffer before you do anything else. Now you need to reconnect the buffer. Good. I'll put the next location on your tricorder.
Hold this. No, hold it right next to the bracket, or the spanner won't... There. Got it, thanks. Something is putting too much stress on these components. I'm not sure what it is, but we don't have enough spare parts to keep rebuilding this transceiver. Grab a tricorder.
You need to scan for microfractures. We need to know what to repair. You need to scan for microfracture. You need to scan for That should do it.
You've shown you're willing to help. Now perhaps we have Anorax's plans, but not the... Interesting. The repairs should be enough.
I beg mercy, Great One. It appears they used a cloaking device and escaped.
You are forgiven. Make preparations to depart.
As you command.
An interesting development.
These sentients have proven to be resourceful. Already they have thwarted our plan to bring in the Solanae fleet.
Their struggles are meaningless.
And yet they injured even you, Ticket. I advise caution. They are more dangerous than they appear.
We should render worlds asunder. Spill them as blood until it fills the oceans. It is time to strike.
I understand you want vengeance, but we must not act in haste.
We will continue with our plan. The whole must be as one. The whole must be as one. The attack on Iconia broke our unity. We were divided, diminished, weak. The others saved us from oblivion, but it took centuries to rebuild our bonds. We cannot risk more loss. The whole must be as one. The campaign will continue as planned.
They couldn't see us? There were Iconians right in front of us and nothing! They had no idea we were here!
The only protection left to my people is our ability to manipulate time. But it is something we must do with great care. Even the most innocuous of changes can rip. My people and I have made Anarax's theories of temporal manipulation our lives' work. In at least one temporal variant, his ship made the Krenim Imperium the undisputed masters of this region of space. If only we could recreate that vessel. Anarax designed a ship, a wondrous vessel that could manipulate the time streams and erase elements in an attempt to bring about a desired result. Our records show that he even attempted to use this vessel to restore the Krenim's fortunes, but he was defeated by an unknown alliance. Afterward, the Krenim Imperium declined, as perhaps was its fate all along. The first Krenim worlds to fall managed to warn the others. When the Vaadwaur came, we hid ourselves in the time stream. It was the only way we survived. Before the Vaadwaur arrived, we were working on a relic. It was a replica of Anarax's time ship. With it, the Vaadwaur's assault on the Imperium took too much from us. Now we possess Anarax's work, but not the means to bring it to life. You have seen what our technology can do. We have the designs. You have the manpower and the materials. Perhaps your governments would be interested in mutual cooperation. Allow us a chance to undo what the Vaadwaur did, and we will give you something that will erase your enemy. There's more here than what you've seen.
You've hidden the entire planet?
Yes, we removed ourselves from the time stream to stay alive. With your help, we can change everything.
You hid an entire planet, but you can't build this time ship on your own?
We have the plans. Our resources are almost gone.
We have shipyards, workers, and all the materials you could need.
Precisely. We revealed ourselves to you as a gesture of good faith. What will you do in return?
The Iconians and the Heralds are gone. It's safe to resync with our time and contact our ships. But this is huge. A whole Krenim colony that survived the Vaadwaur? One that has temporal technology that even the Iconians can't counter? A weaponized time ship that can erase entire civilizations like they never existed? This could change the entire war. We could have a chance now.
Temporal mechanics is not a complication we need, but this weapon they are proposing sounds intriguing. You and Captain Nog were correct in thinking the Alliance would be interested in investigating such a thing. The war continues, and all... Please report to the Kiana system. Our partnership with the Krenim is the war continues, and all of our warriors...